WWE World Heavyweight Championship time. This is the co-main event of WWE SummerSlam 2015. Of course, this is Seth Rollins versus John Cena, champion versus champion. Both guys are going to be walking into this match holding championships. John Cena, of course, being the United States champion. And one guy is supposedly going to walk out with both championships around his waist. Or in John Cena's case, both championships draped around his neck. If we go back to him winning the titles at Money in the Bank, of course, after Daniel Bryan had his injury. After WrestleMania 30, he was forced to be stripped of the championship. The belts got put on the Money in the Bank ladder match. And Cena ended up walking out. He ended up having to play the part that Daniel Bryan was supposed to play at Survivor Series, going up against Brock Lesnar. It was the last time that John Cena held the championship before being beat at last year's SummerSlam. Here he is having a chance to go after it one more time. Cena had a promo on Monday Night Raw, basically saying that he was at the point of his career where he thought he was never going to get a championship shot once again. But when the opportunity came a knocking with Seth Rollins challenging him, he jumped all over it. Honestly, in my mind, John Cena feels like he's been involved in WWE for a long time. This guy is very rarely injured. He's always been at the main events deal. I think that's one of the reasons why the guy suffers so much hate throughout his career. But honestly, when I think about, WrestleMania and John Cena, he made his first appearance at WrestleMania 19 in Seattle doing the wrap-off on the pre-show when they weren't able to book Ludacris, Jay-Z, Eminem, Fabulous, Famous, whatever that other guy's name was that had those two songs that were good and then disappeared forever. Honestly, in my mind, it's not hard for me to think about, WrestleMania 39 and John Cena being on that show. I know that John Cena is reaching out. He's been in a few movies. He's been in back-to-back Judd Apatow movies. And people are saying that he's getting a lot of buzz in Hollywood as of right now. But I think that John Cena knows that wrestling is what butters his bread. And I don't think he wants to be The Rock. He would be very hypocritical if that's what he ended up doing. If you go back to the build for WrestleMania 28, John Cena was really calling out The Rock for basically packing up his bags and leaving and not being a part of WWE. He came back to be the host of WrestleMania 27. It was challenged for him to be at WrestleMania 28, but he had made an appearance on Monday Night Raw. He wrestled at Survivor Series. There were long, huge gaps when The Rock was not around. And I don't think John Cena wants to be that guy. He accepted the role that Vince McMahon gave him of basically moving back a little bit on the card, becoming United States champion. But here they are in a rut trying to make SummerSlam be a big show. They pulled John Cena's number. He's in the main event. So honestly, in my mind, we didn't really get the build that I don't think the writers wrote down on paper for Rollins versus Cena. Maybe it ended up being better. Maybe it ended up not being as strong as it once was. But honestly, if it wasn't for that United States Championship challenge match where Seth Rollins reached out with his knee and broke John Cena's nose, I don't think we would be going into SummerSlam with as much buzz as we are. Cena ended up having to take a few weeks off. He made his return on Tough Enough instead of being on Monday Night Raw, which in my mind hurt it just a little bit. Where he accepted Seth Rollins' challenge to go champion versus champion, belt versus belt. It is what it is. Daniel Bryan had to talk John Cena into taking the match. But when it comes down to it, John Cena and Seth Rollins are both great wrestlers. They're both going to deliver us a great main event. I don't know, man. I don't think Cena's anywhere near slowing down. I don't think that he's going to be leaving WWE anytime soon. But at the same time, I don't really see a belt changing place. I don't see Rollins beating Cena. I don't see Cena beating Rollins. I don't know if it's some sort of outside interference, whether if it's Sheamus, whether if it's The Rock, whether if it's Sting, whether if it's Triple H, Stephanie, Batista, Kane. There's so many names that you could throw out here about, what's going down. Basically, word was out on the street that Kane was due to return on Monday Night Raw. The last time we saw him, Brock Lesnar had broke his leg. Seth Rollins, after the steel steps from Brock Lesnar where it broke the leg, went over and attacked Kane some more, adding more insult to injury. So if Kane was to come back, was he going to, play into the Undertaker versus Brock storyline, going after Brock Lesnar and defending his brother? Was he going to go after his former boss, and I don't know if he was really the boss, because I think they portrayed Kane as more being the boss of the Authority, but just he kept screwing up and couldn't get the job done. Well, co-workers, whatever you want to call it, the guy that was inside the same faction with each other, was he going to go after Rollins? But like I said, there's 1,000 things that could break this match after giving them, putting them in different directions. But honestly, when it comes down to it, you look at Rollins, you look at Cena. I think what they do with SummerSlam matches so long is that basically they start feuds here and they go with the WWE plan of, we're going to make this last 3 months. Night of Champions, we have another 9 finish. And then what do you know? What comes up in October? Hell in the Cell. You need to have a main event. John Cena versus Seth Rollins. WWE Championship on the line. Hell in the Cell. That draws attention. That's a big match. That's something that people are really going to care about. So I think that basically we're not getting a finish. I don't think that Rollins is going to win. I don't think that Cena is going to win. I think the United States Open Challenge on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown is going to continue. And I don't think we're going to see a winner in this feud for months to come.